saints and sages are impartial. Heaven, the nature nourishes those available for flourishing, those who put in effort, those who work very hard. Heaven helps those who help themselves, but overthrows those ready to fall. 这是没有办法，这是很无奈的。So I happened to find this picture on the internet, and on the left-hand side, you can see this is a desert, and in the desert there is no water, so you can see the crack of the soil, but still there is a daisy flower flourishing. And here, apparently this is inside of a room upon a desk, and this red flower already withered, and ironically the flower is in the water, plenty of water, but it withered. And this daisy flower is very dry, and yet it's flourishing. It is flourishing. And why is that? Why is that? What's the major difference? You may say that because this daisy flower has willpower, it wants to flourish, and this red flower loses its hope, loses its life. It's depressed. I found the major difference is the daisy flower has roots, and I believe the roots is very deep. And this red flower without roots. So our roots is very important. Roots always hidden inside. So we can refer roots to our inner cultivation. We want to flourish outside. We want our life to be beautiful. We want to do more things to be more successful, either in our ordinary job, our ordinary career, or in Tao society. But inside of us, our inner cultivation is the foundation. So without inner cultivation, even though plenty of water, this plant is withering. And with roots, even in a very difficult situation, this flower is flourishing. So heaven and earth is impartial. Saints and sages are impartial. It's all up to us, because these roots, this called inner cultivation, is an inside job. No one can do this job for us. It's on our own. Okay, and so in cultivating Tao, we cannot just ask Buddha, or we cannot just ask Lao Mu, holy teachers, Buddha and Bodhisattva, to help us. We need to help ourselves first. And next philosophical concept is also very important. This is a very important concept in this chapter. The space between heaven and earth, is it not like a wind box? The space between the sky and the earth is like the space within a wind box. When no one generates wind by pulling the plug, the box remains quiet and calm inside. Let's see. This is what a wind box looks like. A wind box is a device used in the kitchen, especially in rural areas in China. And in the past, it was used to generate wind to help the wood burn efficiently in the stove. And the mechanism is like this. The wind box has two valves, valve A and valve B. And if you pull the plug outwardly, valve A will be opened and valve B will be closed. And the air will be drawn into the box through valve A. And then next step will be to push. If we push the plug inwardly, then valve A will be closed and valve B will be opened, and the air will squeeze through valve B. And the air squeezed through valve B will provide oxygen to the stove fire and help the fire burn efficiently. So all we have to do is keep on pulling and pushing the plug, that we can generate the wind to help the fire burn efficiently. So Lao Tzu said, the space between heaven and earth is just like a wind box. And some other people, you can find in some other version, they translate as bellows, B-E-L-L-O-W, or wind box. Either one will do. Either one is okay. And like the wind box, and the characteristic of the wind box is empty and yet never exhausted. The more it is worked, the more it produces. Lao Tzu uses the theory of a wind box to illustrate the essence and function of Tao. When we talk about essence, if we understand Chinese, this is called Ti. 体用. Lao Tzu uses the wind box to illustrate the 体用 of Tao. Okay, the essence. Okay, the essence of a wind box, when the wind box is not in use, 它的本体 when it is not in use, it seems to be of no use, quiet and motionless. But a very important characteristic is the wind box must be kept inside, empty inside, must be empty inside. Without the emptiness inside, it is no longer a wind box. So the empty space inside is essential to a wind box. And function, because of its emptiness, once the plug is pulled and pushed, it generates a lot of winds and never exhausted. As long as you keep on working, keep on pulling and pushing, then the wind will never be exhausted. And so is our true nature. As long as we restore the pure essence of our true nature, the emptiness contains unlimited potentiality of wisdom, kindness, and courage. When we deal with things, or when we deal with people, we can manifest our inner virtues naturally. So in this verse, 趋而不趋，动而愈出, in this verse, there are two key points. Number one is being empty. Number two is the more it is worked. Being empty, very important. If the wind box is not empty inside, then the wind it generates is limited, no matter how hard you pull and push the plug. The same, if our mind is not pure inside, if we harbor some hatred, some anger, some greed inside of our mind, no matter how hard we propagate or preach Tao, the wisdom, the kindness, the courage are supposed to be manifested will be very limited. So are the merits and virtues we try to accumulate, very, very limited if our heart, if our mind is not pure inside. Okay, so this the characteristic of the 托乐, the wind box, characteristic of being empty is very important. And next characteristic is the more it is worked. The more it is worked, even though the wind box is kept empty, but if we don't work on it, there's still no wind generated, okay? Because it's motionless, there's still no wind. The same, even though we have cultivated very tranquil, very well, we are so calm, so tranquil, so pure in our mind, but if we don't propagate Tao, to benefit the world, we cannot fully realize our true nature and attain the ultimate enlightenment. Because we know Tao, of course, is our true nature. Our true nature is inside of us. But if we only understand the true nature inside of us, we don't understand the true nature communicating with the vast, infinite source of the universe, then we haven't attained ultimate enlightenment. 就是说，所谓明心见性啊，不是只有见到自己身体里头这个自性 ，not just realize, restore the true nature inside. Our holy teacher say we need to 见到众生的性 ，we need to 就是了解众生 ，we need to be we need to have like empathy, right? 同理心 we need to 了解众生的痛苦 ，so we can help them, we can benefit them. And after we do more and more, we broaden our mind. We not just confined to self-cultivation. We help others. Eventually, we understand 众生's true nature, and eventually we understand the greater oneness, 这个宇宙的性。那个时候 at that time, that is the ultimate enlightenment. So if we just keep calm, we cultivate very pure, very isolated, in remote mountains, in sitting meditation. Yes, we are very calm, very pure, very tranquil, but we don't benefit the world. We only with inner cultivation, without outer propagation of Tao, we cannot fully realize our true nature and attain the ultimate enlightenment. So I use this picture, a bird with two wings, so that the bird can fly toward its destination. So a bird needs two wings to fly. Like the bird, we also benefit from using our two wings. One wing of inner cultivation and another wing of outer propagation. Inner cultivation refers to restoring our true nature, of course. And outer propagation refers to our actions out of our pure compassion, not out of our our purpose to accumulate merits and virtues to benefit ourselves, but our outer propagation out of our pure compassion toward sentient beings and our heartfelt wish for others to be free from suffering. Okay, so these are two wings, and if under certain circumstances, our wing will be injured. And what are the circumstances? Number one, inner cultivation without benefiting others. We might be aloof or dispassionate. So without benefiting others, we have inner cultivation, but the other wing is supposed to be compassionate, but that wing is not strong. That wing is because we are dispassionate. Okay, and propagating Tao, yes, we have our outer merits. This wing is strong, but without inner cultivation, we might be attached. Our mind, our thoughts might be attached to forms, and we might be troubled by greed, anger, and ignorance. So with a troubled mind, and we do a lot of work to propagate Tao, eventually the result will be very limited. So together, these two wings work together. They enhance and balance each other. And okay, another very beautiful picture. We are still on this verse, empty and yet never exhausted. The more it works, the more it produces. Again, talking about Ti and Yong, Ti, the essence. The Ti refers to our true nature. The Ti of Tuoyue, the Ti of this wind box refers to our true nature. Our true nature, 本体, originally pure, not contaminated, okay? Tranquil, not agitated, and focused, not distracted. And 用, our function, or the function of our true nature, of course, virtues. The virtues can be categorized into 3 categories. Number 1, being wise, full of wisdom, being kind, full of compassion, being courageous, which means dare to face challenges. And so I use this photo, a beautiful sky, to illustrate this concept. We might heard this, the sky is like a canvas and God is the painter. Okay, so this canvas, before God starts to paint, this canvas must be blank, right? So the sky, because the emptiness of the sky, 因为虚空, because the emptiness of the sky, so God can work on it. From sunrise to sunset, the sky is ever changing. You can always see the spectacular display of the sunlight and the beautiful clouds because the sky is empty. And Mother Nature is working on it and displays spectacular things. So if we cultivate our mind well and let it be pure and tranquil, then we can have a spectacular display of智人勇, of wisdom, kindness, and courage in life. And next verse, too many words hasten failure. The mindset of saints and sages is 无为, just like the sky and the earth. And we know 无为 is the transliteration of the Chinese character. So we need to explain this 无为. There are certain characteristics of 无为. Number 1, selfless. Saints and sages are selfless. What they do are not for their own selfish purpose. Number 2, they will do their best to not for his own benefits, of course, not selfish. And their actions are out of peaceful true nature. 无为 doesn't mean do nothing. They do many things, but their actions peaceful, out of their peaceful true nature, not out of greed, anger, or ignorance. And a very beautiful part of 无为 is that his actions are effortless, spontaneous. Effortless and spontaneous is his actions are out of true nature, simple and direct, and always appropriate and just right. Well, maybe after I explain this, and time is up, so allow me to explain this, being effortless and spontaneous. There's a story in the book of Mencius. Mencius talk about 恻隐之心, the compassionate heart, compassion. Mencius said, a young child standing beside a well, and the young child was about to fall into the well. It's very dangerous, and anyone as an adult, either you or me, anyone, we happen to see this. We happen to by the side of the young child, and at that moment, spontaneously, we would stop the child from falling into the well. Anyone would do that. We would stop it from happening because we can't bear to see the kid fall and suffer. So we will save and protect the kid immediately, okay? Not because we are friends of the kid's family, kid's parents, not because we want to be famous, not because we want to be rewarded for saving the kid, but because we just do this without thinking, because of compassion. And this compassion is so spontaneous, immediately. And this is 无为, right from our true nature. Everyone has this. we believe most people have this kind of attitude. But since most people have this attitude, most people already Buddhas, already attain Buddhahood? Not yet. That's why Mencius said the compassion is the beginning of benevolence. Compassion, a compassionate heart, this compassionate act, the compassionate behavior, yes, it's spontaneous, but it's just the beginning of benevolence. And why? Because any sentient beings, 所有的众生啊，就是没有开悟的众生啊 not attending, not restoring, not having not restored his true nature, will do this spontaneously. And the difference between a sentient being and a Buddha, a sentient being has Buddha nature inside, and a Buddha has Buddha nature inside. And the difference between a sentient being's Buddha nature and the Buddha nature of a Buddha is what? Is a sentient being's Buddha nature is just like a flash of light. It's just like the light flashes and then disappear. Like when you see the young child, he has compassionate heart. And after he's saving the kid, and maybe when he go back home, and he start to beat his own child, and because he was provoked by his child's certain behavior. So sentient beings' true nature 就是很短暂，很短暂。And Buddha's true nature already 100% restored. So 24 hours a day, always so bright. That's Buddha. And all the cultivators, we start from the status of a sentient being. Yes, we all have this, a compassionate heart, but just beginning of benevolence. We need to cultivate and restore our true nature. And then we can effortlessly, spontaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 很亮, always our true nature is so bright. And that is, that is our goal. So we need to both wins, inner cultivation and outer propagation, and keep on going. Never lose our faith. Never lose our dedicated heart. And hand in hand, like we study the wisdom, the words of wisdom from Lao Tzu. We study all the scriptures, all the holy revelations, all are helping us to attaining our goal. Okay, time is up. I have to stop here, and we don't have time to discuss, to take questions. Maybe if we have next time in the future, I hope that we can have some interaction. So if I have made any mistakes, I hope God and Buddha to forgive me, and I hope masters, lecturers to give me comments. And thank you, Lecturer Hong, for your translation. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for your attendance. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Great thanks to Lecturer Susanna for a very, very great sharing about Tao Te Ching, Chapter 4 and also Chapter 5. So we really enjoyed it and appreciate all the hard work that Lecturer Susanna has put in to translate and also to explain it to us. Right? It is not easy to really understand the sutra itself, and also can convey or express the meaning of it to us. And now that we can, again, we revise and we appreciate the profoundness of Tao. And also Tao is not outside of us, it is within us, right? And just now it talks about saints and sages, how a great saint will mix with the ordinary people. Okay, 和其光通其尘, and also what is the importance of vow, and dedication in Tao cultivation, because with this, it actually protects us from our debtors, right? And lots of things like the essence and functions of our true self, right? So great thanks to Lecturer Susanna